I got to go back to the other section. Because I really rely on some form of inspiration, you know, when I'm writing a song, and I'm always kind of looking for something for me that feels uplifting and joyous on some level. For the lyric component of the song, I'm basically engaged my friend Dave Clark, who lives in Toronto, who's a very close friend of mine, and I just have an affinity for him. So the lyrics of Singin' On, which is really my buddy Dave's domain, you know, he talked about reconciliation. For him, the way that he expressed it was really with another person and trying to reconcile in a dynamic with two people. For me, when a song happens, it's almost like a little bird lands on your shoulder, and then you're inspired. And I personally feel that it's not really anything that I have control over. I'm not the important ingredient in it all. There's like something else that is kind of making it happen.
I'm excited because I don't get my stuff done by other people very often, so it's a neat thing for me. The song of mine that you picked kind of embodies that sort of thing, of that vibe of the up-tempo, happy kind of thing. It's kind of a hoedown, you know. The music has got kind of like that barn-raising kind of sound to it. And I was thinking back to when I was growing up. I grew up in Los Angeles, and my mom would take us down to Hollywood to see all the musicals back then. And one of them was Seven Brides for Seven Brothers, which is definitely just filled with, Aaron Copland type hoedown kind of stuff. So I usually write the music first and see what kind of words pop into my head as I'm listening to it. And so I was thinking, of happy thoughts, and what would be happy is about, your first love and talking to your girlfriend and listening to the music together kind of thing. So it would seem like an obvious thing to put to music. So that's probably a bit of where that song came from. I sweat blood over the lyrics. The music seems to be kind of the easier part of it for me. I think the music carries itself, so just let it carry you and be joyful about it and have at it. Just dig into it.
The inspiration was the birth of my granddaughter, Miel, who was born with Down syndrome. And I was trying to find a way that I could fit into her life. And because I'm a musician, it had to be through a song. One of the things that I realized through this song was that I had it all wrong. Right? My notion of what it was to have a disability or to be with someone with a disability was completely wrong. And I was gently and lovingly corrected. And through that song. The first experience I had with Miel was in the hospital. And my first impression was that she was an angel. I had this angel in my life now, and my preconceived notion of what an angel was got thrown out the door, and I got Miel. And this is not the kind of angel that sits around on a cloud playing a harp with wings. This is an angel that will show you a truth that you missed. This is an angel that will take you and put you in a world that you didn't know existed. I had this notion that they all had a set of wings, flowing robes that would never cling, played on harps that had at least a dozen strings, and hung around in groups to sing. But you look like an angel to me. So that and then the celebration of that is the ha ha yeah part. It's the ha ha yeah, and that's the part that Miel wrote.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Ah, yeah. Relax, she'd say to me. Angels Do came out of a true thing. Angels Do is a real. It's not. There's no message in it. It's only expressing my my enlightenment of the subject, and that's all I got. That is that.
I think back on it now when I wrote the song. I just, it came quite easy, and I think that was because of the logging experience that I had. My take on it is that if we have to rely on the old growth forest to feed our economy, once it's gone, then we're really in big trouble because it's gone forever, right? I thought of the line in the song, looking at the old men all watered-eyed and shaken, still dreaming about the olden days behind their mystic door, when they lived upon the island and never made a footprint. They just barely touched their moccasins upon the forest floor. So they were all over the map, but they never made a mark. And we came along, and boy, did we make a mark.
To me, the last line is important. Look at all the children, trust upon their faces.
That's in the third verse.
Yeah, because that's the whole point, that we need to save this for the next generation. Wasn't it the mid-'80s when you wrote that song? Maybe even the early 80s.
83, I think. So.
Yeah. And
there's a lot of controversy.
It's still
there.
relevant today,
Hi, I'm Bruce Gerrish, and it's my honor to have one of my songs called "Tonight" being turned into a choral arrangement, and it's just outstanding product of the song, because I never thought of that when I began it. Of course, I think typically songwriters will write kind of in isolation because it's kind of tentative, and you don't really want anybody to hear it until you think you've got it somewhere. This particular song, everybody says, "Oh, did you have somebody, that was away?" And I said, "No, it was just sort of the idea that I had of being apart from somebody and still trying to maintain some sort of a connection." In the storyline of this song, it happens to be a flashlight, which is kind of ridiculous, but it's sort of, it's just kind of a romantic notion, I think, that this guy's, communicating with his flashlight up into the sky and hoping somehow or another his message gets across. It was written during a time I was doing an album of mine. It was kind of right at the end of the recording process, and I just came up with it kind of in the studio, to be honest with you, and I kind of flushed it out from there. For songwriters, songs are like your children, and once they're grown and you finish them, then they're on their own to a large degree. My first concern with it was that, oh well, maybe somebody else has used that title, but I think even if you have similar title, songs stand on their own depending on the song, and I'm really looking forward to seeing the live presentation.
As I walked home, the melody came to me, and so I sang it into my iPhone, and I got home and I wrote it down, and that's how Colliery was written.
And you wrote it originally for?
The fiddle.
The fiddle.
Yes.
Ah. And so I have a very small part in this song, basically as a scribe for all the things that Trish shared about her experience at Colliery. Trish, I think this could be turned into a vocal piece, because I was a beginner fiddle player. I was learning this song on fiddle, and I just loved it, but I could sing it way better than I could play it. So we sat together and we looked at photos from her time at Colliery. I had that feeling of a place that is timeless, that you just appreciate so much, and you never want it to change, just like your children, but you know that all of that is changing. So that's how the lyrics came on board. Thinking about a special place for you, and it's happy sad, right? It's appreciation. It's a deep appreciation for life and for now, and an awareness of, which is a little bit sad, on how things do change. And I think that I was thinking of when I sang this song is that balance of letting go and being right here.
Like music is such a visceral connector of people and community. For me, what I really love about community connection like Nanaimo sings is that it's people from all walks of life. It's people of all singing backgrounds and musical training and people at all stages in their life who for just a few moments are breathing together, right? And who are vibrating together, and that's a place like Colliery. That connecting of communities is, I think, the most important part of our life. And music's a big part of that.
I was coming from work one day and thinking about my relationship, and I just realized that it's great to be with someone who I love and there are no restrictions. And I thought about my friends who are in the same scenario. So I want to write a song to celebrate, the different kinds of love from different kinds of people, male, female, black, white, tall, short, whatever you are. Love is love, and I just want to write a song to celebrate that. And you think about the people in your life that you love and who have been with you forever. It could be a partner, a best friend, a family member, but that person that you hold dearly who, as you've grown through life, they've grown with you and you keep learning new things about them, but also about people who have love that if they weren't in a safe space would not be able to express and enjoy that love. And I know those two feelings are pretty opposite, but that's really where I came from writing the song. There's a happiness part of it too, but it's also the fact that there are people who cannot enjoy their love, but it's still love regardless of what people elsewhere might call it or deem it to be. So I want them to convey those emotions through the song. I'm just overwhelmed, that's all it is. I'm really, really overwhelmed and excited, and I hope that the singers take time to look at the lyrics and interpret, at least sing with the emotion that I was hoping to convey. But I want to hear what they come up with.
Okay.
So yes.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.